Greetings and salutations all, I.S. Anderson here once again. Today I'm just going to give you a quick update on my car. It looks pretty good. I'll show you some footage right now actually. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. And I was cooped up here for a few days, and fortunately I didn't have any too bad incidents. The cabin fever did set in a little bit, but I don't think there was any real problems. I didn't have any incidents or anything.
Hello, camera. You're my best friend, aren't you?
Well, okay, maybe one. So anyway, today I'm going to do a review on a book called Control by Lydia Kang. Now, I first got into this book because I was invited into a read-along group on Goodreads owned by some of the YouTubers here. I'll leave a link to you down below if you want to check that out. Control is a YA sci-fi novel set in the year 2150 where man has created their own breed of genetically altered people which they shun from society. Go figure. Anyway, these genetically altered people have what's called traits, which are basically special abilities. They include things like breathable skin, multiple appendages, the ability to stay awake for long periods of time, or even enhanced healing. The main protagonist of our story is named Zelia, or ZYL, Zill, as she's more commonly known later. She lives with her father and her sister, and they move around a lot, though she never knows why, and her father is very controlling of her, although she does accept this control for some reason. Zelia, her father, and her sister move around a lot. Actually, they move once every 10 months. This all changes one fateful day when Zelia and her family are caught in a car accident. Their father dies as a result. Zelia and her sister are taken away to a foster care facility, where Zelia's sister ends up being kidnapped by two people with extraordinary abilities. Zelia is befriended by a woman named Marka, who takes her to live at a high-security facility with a group of genetically altered teenagers. Zelia must use her scientific skills and knowledge of DNA in order to find her sister, all the while learning to cope with having a new family. Control is a well-written novel with good pacing, fleshed-out character development, and interesting premise. I found the character of Zelia to actually be a pretty strong protagonist. She's intelligent, she has an interesting personality, and she is flawed, yet not so flawed as to make her a completely ridiculous and unrelatable character. Zelia suffers from a rare genetic condition called Odine's Curse, a condition where people will lose the involuntary function to be able to breathe. Zelia herself, she has to wear a necklace that causes her to breathe when she sleeps, and this is actually a big factor later on in the story. There were a couple drawbacks to the story. There was a romance in it between Zelia and one of the other teenagers in the facility. It did feel kind of forced to me. It did have some of those old YA cliches that had me rolling my eyes. Especially bad one was when she went out about how his eyes were just so golden and beautiful, if that sounds familiar at all. There is also a very heavy emphasis on science. The characters spend most of their time in a laboratory. That might be a turnoff to some people, but if that doesn't bother you, then you should definitely give this a read. I think most people will find this a very interesting book, and therefore I give it my 5-star rating, recommended to most people. And that is my review of Control by Lydia Kang. I will be doing another video on this. It'll be more of a discussion. It'll be a lot more in-depth. It's basically going to be for the people who already read it, so there will be a lot of spoilers, and I will put that warning in the description. There will be all the pertinent information in this video down below in the abyss, as always. And I would just like to say, this is I.S. Anderson signing off, telling everybody, make your lives grand. Thank you. Have a good day. And remember, kids, mainstream media will be more than happy to explain to you any of the scandals or controversies around the Olympics, but if you want to know who actually won the medals, you'll actually have to Google that one.